Jace, overall I would say a positive weekend for you, but it was two very different days. Yesterday was very, very good, maybe the best you've rode in a long time, and then today maybe a little bit of bad luck with washing the front, and then the crash in the Super Pool didn't help. But overall I think you can still take positives from this weekend.
Yeah, I can hold my head high, I think. There was no talk about me being here in the mix with Shimoda and Tom. And yesterday, I can say I gave those guys everything they wanted, truly. And they're on factory KTM, factory Honda, and I'm on Team GSM Yamaha, and they're working their butt off to give me the best bike they possibly can. And the bike's strong. We've been working hard, and I really appreciate the hard work that the mechanics put in. And even coming here, Thursday night, they're working till 1 or 2 in the morning, and then getting up at 6 to drive the truck here. That doesn't happen often, and they're putting in a lot of hours. And I wanted to come here and prove something, to myself, but also to the team. They've done a lot, and I've had a rough year with my back problem and issue with the disc problem and a nerve issue. And yesterday was awesome, like you said. We were fast all day. We went 2-3-2 for second overall in between the factory guys, and then today was different. But also, the beginning of the day was great, man. I set pole against those guys. I was fastest in qualifying, so that was huge. And then the first main, I was second. And then I crashed in the second main. I crashed on the start and aggravated my back a little bit. Not gonna lie, it's very sore right now. So we're just gonna do some rehab. But the tough part is we have to get on a plane tomorrow to fly to Melbourne, and that's about 25 hours in a plane to travel. So it's not gonna be easy, but hey, we're here and we're gonna be ready.
And just on the back injury, I'm sure that's been pretty frustrating riding through that pain. Yesterday, did you feel quite good with the back until you obviously hurt it today again?
Yes, yesterday I would say that really the main thing for me was just getting the bike fitness back. Just the fatigue, the racecraft. I felt like yesterday was good for that. I was starting to come around. And then today, man, I was just tired. It was just 2 long days, and I took 4 months off, and I rode 4 times before Abu Dhabi. I got to ride 1 time before here. So, between all these days, I've got 8 days on the bike probably after 4 months off. So, man, I'm motivated though. I'm feeling good. I'm gelling with the Yamaha again. The team, like I said, they're working hard. I feel good. I want to end strong with them. My last race is in Melbourne, so do everything I possibly can to get my back 100% or as good as it can be, and luckily those races are short, quick sprint races, so we should be good.
And just on the Power Supercross track this year, this is my 3rd year here, and I think it's definitely the most Supercross-like I've seen. What was your thoughts on the track? Certainly more Supercross style than Abu Dhabi anyway.
Yeah, I definitely would say it was more Supercross. The whoops weren't as big as last year, but they were still tough and gnarly. And then, some of the rhythms, they were tough and pretty beefy, to nail lap after lap. And then the dirt, was a little bit soft. It got really hard and slick today compared to yesterday, but still had ruts in the jumps that would kind of pull you and stuff. But yeah, I would agree that it definitely was probably the most Supercross it's been in years. I raced, my first year was 2018, and I won then, and I was going for it again, trying. I set myself up good yesterday. But like you said, 2 very different days. The day still started off great today. I proved a point setting pole and fastest in qualifying, and then second the first main. And after that, it kind of just went to shit. But hey, we're here, and it's a great positive weekend. It's a great positive weekend.
You seem to love coming to Europe to race. I mean, you've been here since 2018, like you said. You've done a few ADAC Supercross. You've even done a few SX tours this year. What is about Europe you love so much?
Yeah, I think just I don't know. I get fired up to come do these races, but I think for me right now, I'm starting to get a little bit older, and I just I know I'm not going to race forever, right? And I'm really putting everything into my career right now and taking that chapter to really be the best that I can possibly be. I feel like, as a great amateur and struggling year after year, but, having some success in arena cross and just building, and there's been plenty of times when I hurt my back again this year, I was like, man, do I even want to keep doing this? I love the sport and I love riding, but I just feel like every time I build momentum, I get knocked down, and it's no sob story, but it's just, I just need to work hard and trust the process and make the most of, my future and the coming years that I do have while I'm still racing.
And just on World Supercross, as somebody from Ireland, I think World Supercross is needed, Supercross Global. it's great in America, but I think fans all around the world deserve to see it. So I'm a positive for World Supercross, but at the same time, there's probably still some improvements to be made. Abu Dhabi, I'm not really sure you call that track a World Supercross track, but at the same time, I think they've done a good job at Villa Park and Cardiff and in Australia as well. Do you think there's a need for World Supercross, and is that a series you're enjoying? And if so, what do you think they need to improve on?
Yeah, definitely. I love the whole concept of World Supercross, especially because I've been an indoor-only guy for many years, so it creates more opportunity, right? And as soon as World Supercross come out in the States, they came out with a ton more money for the guys, which is great for riders. They had the Super Motocross thing, $10 million showed up, so it's good for the sport. And like I said, for me, it's good because I can race in the States, and then I can kind of have a full-time, an all-year thing, So it's been a little bit tricky, with some races getting canceled and stuff, but it's definitely not easy. You're competing against a series that's been around for a ton of years, and everyone just sees that, and they're doing on a global platform. So, Abu Dhabi track was very tight. The switchback, the outside stuff made for some very, very narrow racing. But, I think that's what the fans want to see. As a rider, it's tough. Not a lot of separation. But, I think it's good. I think hopefully it does continue to grow. There's some new investors involved, so, they seem fired up and motivated for that. So I think it could be good. It'd be nice if it's 5 races, it stays 5 races, and not kind of gets cut down a little bit.
A big gap between round 1 and 2, isn't it?
Yeah. But honestly, for me, it worked out because with my back, I wouldn't even been able to race anyways. So to have that time off was much needed for me. But yeah, I think I do really think that, with Adam Bailey and that whole crew, I think that they will we'll continue to grow it, and I think next year will be bigger than it was this year, and I'm sure Melbourne will be a big one. Australian Supercross in Australia is big, so I'm sure that will be will be a big one, and that'll be good for the World Supercross.
And just on next year, after Australia, you'll probably be glad to get a bit of time off to get this back sorted out. But looking ahead to 2024, AMS Supercross in the agenda, and if so, do you know what coast you'll be doing yet?
So I'm not sure exactly. Right now, I haven't signed anything. Free agent, I guess you could say. But I may do some arena cross stuff. That's been in the talk. But the thing is, with Melbourne, it's the following weekend for the first arena cross. So there's 2 races back to back, and then there's about a month break that I would have. So really just putting the pieces of the puzzle together, trying to see where we end up, and Supercross is just tough, to not be on a factory bike against the factory bikes week in and week out and be a 10th place guy. Do I think I can be better than that? Absolutely. But you got to get the results to get a factory bike, and it's tough. The guys are great. The competition's tough. There's 10 factory dudes every weekend you're lining up against plus, and they're good riders. Everyone works hard and everyone wants that same spot. So we're just gonna keep working, focusing on ourselves, and just try to climb the ladder and see where we can go.